Okay, what about the sheriff being under the new city, where they run everything like it is in Augusta, or do you have a new police chief that runs things?
And that's what I disagree with Representative Peake's plan. He wants the sheriff to be the top police officer. Never. That shouldn't happen. The top law enforcement official in this city, in most cities, should be an appointed position that's responsible to the chief elected official. That's the way it should be. That's the way it is in Athens. That's the way it is in Augusta. It's in Columbus, where we have consolidated governments. And it's that way in primarily in all the cities and counties, even DeKalb County. You have the sheriff, but you have the DeKalb County Police Department. In Clayton County, you have the Clayton County Sheriff, but you have the Clayton County Police Department. They have different functions. The sheriff function can never be taken away from us because it is by law, it's by the Constitution of the state. So, and the sheriff has a responsibility to maintain the jail, the courts, issuing warrants, and doing things of that nature. But the policing should be the responsibility of elected officials, and that person should be appointed by the mayor and confirmed by the majority of council.
Any other thing that you would like to see change here in Macon?
I tell you what we're going to have to see in Macon. We have to come to grips with Macon, and probably will never be a city of 130, 140,000 people again. I think we just have to accept that.
Even if they consolidate?
Well, I'm talking about as it is now. As it is now. There are some neighborhoods in Macon, and I've looked at a plan that we have in Youngstown, Ohio. There are some neighborhoods in Macon that should be shut down, that we should go in and incentivize the people that's there, maybe 2 or 3 houses on the street. It used to be a very bustling street, but now there's only 2 or 3 houses. We should incentivize them to move elsewhere. Take that entire neighborhood, shut it down, turn it into green space, open space, that you save money on infrastructure. You don't have a trash truck going on the street to pick up garbage from two households. And it's doable, it's workable, and I think we have to look at that. That's a major shift and toward revitalization and creating this new Macon that we are calling in my campaign, a new beginning for a new Macon. This new Macon will not look like the old Macon.
What about the Macon Water Authority? On one of the plans, it will be there elected independently. In another plan, they are saying that they should pay some kind of fee.
A franchise fee. I agree with the franchise fee. We should have been getting a franchise fee all the time. The powers that be, once this switched to an authority, that should have been one of the stipulations. Because after all, this was owned by the city of Macon. And what's unique about state law in Georgia, only cities can collect franchise fees. Counties can't collect franchise fees. So if we went now to collect franchise fees, it would only come to the city government, as Cox Cable and Georgia Power and Atlanta Gas and all of those now that we have a franchise agreement with the city, but not the county. So I think franchise fees is a good thing. I wouldn't squabble with them having elected, being an elected official. It is a political entity, and I think it will remain one, and probably should remain one.
Okay, what about any other changes that you see making? I know the new mayor always picks his own police chief. He picks his own fire chief. He picks his own CAO.
Yeah.
And I imagine you do the same thing.
Definitely, especially CAO. The first person you hire is your CAO. I mean, the current CAO, I wouldn't even expect for him to be in the office when I showed up on day one to work. I mean, well, what his name is, I don't know it, but that's, and as it was when I came in '99, I brought my CAO, Melvin Walter, if you remember, and Melvin,
he was a good guy.
Very good guy. Melvin and I, very competent, a good public servant, works in Newark, New Jersey right now, the deputy chief administrative officer there. And we have talked, as you know, Melvin's from Atlanta. We talk all the time. Should the people honor me to go back to the mayor's office, and the good Lord willing, I've asked him if he'll come and join me again, and he's given me a conditional yes.
Now, since you've been left office, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been working as a consultant for 2 different companies. Currently, I'm employed by Chest Engineers, one of the largest African-American engineers companies in the world. We have a global reach. We do work in Ghana. We do work in Haiti. Matter of fact, I should be off to Haiti pretty soon. We have a contract there. We're trying to, as a recovery from the earthquake. We have a contract pending in Uganda. We do work in Atlanta. We do water, wastewater, any infrastructure dealing with water, stormwater, wastewater, sewage reclamation, and so forth.
And I understand you're married again.
I am very happily married. Married, as they say, married up. Married up. I was very fortunate. God put a young woman in my life that I loved dearly, and we got married, and we've been dating for quite some time, 4 years as a matter of fact. And we got married in September, this past September, and we're both very pleased with one another, and hopefully it'll stay that way.
Okay, I appreciate you stopping by and sharing everything with us about consolidation and all the things. But you're back in Macon, you're a member of...
I'm a member of Unionville Baptist Church. The Dr. I. Edward Mack is my pastor. Man, I have a great deal of respect for. As you know, I was at that church before and gone back there. And the strange thing about Unionville, they say you can't go home again. As a boy living in Unionville, I used to attend Unionville Baptist Church when it was located in the confines of Unionville.
You know, I just recently rejoined New Pleasant Road.
Someone told me that.
Pastor
Richard Gamage, one of my favorite pastors of all time. And the work that he's done with the Martin Luther King Jr. March every year. Matter of fact, before I left office, I saw fit. It was laid on my heart, God laid on my heart to go over and honor him, gave him a plaque, a picture of Dr. King, and thanking him for the work that he's been doing there.
Yeah, I was a member of Swift Creek. It was nothing against Swift Creek. That was my wife's church.
Yeah.
She passed. I was just closer to, that's the church I was baptized in, so I went back to...
well, it proves that you can go home again.
I can go home again.
That we
that's what I said.
that we can change. That we can change, and that's one thing. That's one good thing about our country, Herbert. That both of us served in Vietnam. We fought for the Constitution, said we were willing to die for it, even though we know we were willing to die for it. We had said that. We took an oath and said that. And one thing about that Constitution, that I like about it, the freedom of religion, freedom of press, freedom of speech, and the freedom of assembly, lawful assembly, whomever you want to be associated with. And those things in our Constitution is so sacred to me, and I'm sure they are to you, and should always be defended at all costs.
Vietnam, I understand you went back to Vietnam.
I did. Went back to Vietnam, hung out with the Buddhist monks in Hue, where I was during Tet 68. Had an opportunity to stay at a monastery for a while to communicate with and met with the mayor of Hue. He gave me a drive in a car and told him to take good care of me. And lo and behold, I discovered through our conversation that during Tet of 68, he was a captain in the North Vietnamese Army in Hue, and I was a staff sergeant at that time in the American Army, the 101st Airborne Division. So we were literally trying to kill each other, and here we are all these years later, we're helping each other.
Airborne.
Airborne.
Marine Corps.
All the way.
I was in the 3rd Marine Division.
I heard.
Infantry Division.
You up in North. That was in North of Chu. Yeah, Chu Lai.
So what I remember most about it is I saw a lot of good young men die.
Yeah, and their names on that wall. When I go in Washington,
can't take it, Holly.
Yes, it's a terrible thing. But we made it, and we have a responsibility to make. We have to do the work for those 20 and 21-year-olds that didn't make it, 19 that didn't make it. We have a double responsibility. And you've lived up to yours, and I've tried to live up to mine.
Oh, you have lived up to yours.
Yeah.
Give them 30 seconds. Look at that camera right there and just tell the people anything you want to tell them.
Well, first of all, let me thank you for this opportunity to come be on the one and only Herbert Dennard show. And
before you say a step further, you got me into this show.
I sure did. I sure did. When I qualified for office in 1999, they told me I could no longer host a community forum, and I asked Herbert. I knew he had not only a big mouth, but a big voice. What I mean by that, I don't mean a big mouth, but a big voice that people will listen to him. He had something to say, and I'm thankful that you have prospered over the years with this show. But let me say to the people, I'm running for mayor again because it's not about me, it's about the people of the city of Macon, my beloved hometown. And I ask for your prayers, I ask for your consideration, and definitely ask for your vote on July 19th. And we're not that far away. Early voting will start as early as June, qualifying early June. Early voting starts late June, so we don't have that much time to waste, and we're not tarrying. So you'll see me in your neighborhood, you'll see me in your community, and I'm going to be trying to get before as many people as I possibly can. And I ask you to visit my website. That's www.cjackellis4mayor.com, and my platform is there, my agenda is there, and what we did before. But the election's about the future, although we run on our record, but we're running to make this city a better city, to move it forward to a new Macon.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.